Hi there folks, I'm carrying on with my Christmas decorations. So as you can see, I've gone a bit star crazy. I always have a tree in the porch and decorating with some paper craft items, and this year I'm going to go a little bit more natural with my colour scheme. So I've decided to do some more of these. I usually do a few of these anyway, so it's fun to be able to do these again. So what you'll need is 2 pieces of square paper. Doesn't matter what size they are, although I'll give you some of the measurements for some of the other sizes down in the description box towards the end. So yeah, let's get started on these. So let's pop these to one side. So I'm going to be making these with a 6x6 paper that I'm using this instance, but the smaller one, this was a 4x4 paper. Oops, a little bit crushed. This was a 4x4. You can do them with 8x8, 12x12, and I'll put the measurements as you'll see in a minute down in the description box. So anyway, so taking your square piece of paper, doesn't matter what size because the folds are exactly the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this edge and line it up with that edge. So simple, just fold it in half. Okay, you have to be really good with your folds and reinforce them plenty of times for this to work. So once you've done that, you're going to open it up and fold it the other way. Okay, and once you've done that, so we've gone that way and we've gone that way, we're now going to go point to point. So taking this point, I'm going to bring it across, line it up with that point and score it down. I'm going to open it up again and turn it and bring this point to that point. It's what I like to call a Union Jack fold, because you have now score lines going across and point to point. Okay, so once you've done that, I don't know whether you can see them, so you've got score lines there to there and there to there, and then you've got them going all the way across there and there. Okay, so once you've done that, we now have to do some measuring. So with the 6x6 papers, we're going to put a mark at 1¼ inches. So I'm going to take my ruler and putting it on that crease mark, I'm going to make a mark. So I'm going to avoid the points and I'm going to go to the next crease line, straight crease line, which is this one, and I'm going to put a mark. Then I'm going to avoid the next point one, go to the square one and 1¼ inches, and I'm going to put a mark. Then I'm going to ignore the point one and go to the next squared one, measure up 1¼ inches, and I'm going to put another mark. Okay, so that's all the measuring that you have to do. You just have to make sure that it's on those two lines and not on the points. Okay, because if you do that, you're going to get mixed up. Okay, so taking your scissors, you're now going to cut from this edge just to the point, okay, along the score line. So very carefully up to that mark. Yeah, that's all we're doing to there. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides. So very careful. Snip straight up that score line on all 4 sides. So when you've done, you've then got that for each corner. Okay, right, so Now what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the corner and line this edge up with this score line. Okay, so I'm holding it carefully and I'm going to bring that up because I want these points to be very sharp if I can, because these are the points of my star. And then I'm going to bring this corner up and bring it back in as well while I'm holding the point. So this, lining this up with the score line. So bring it across, hold it carefully, make sure I've got a good sharp point there, and reinforce that fold. And then again with the bone folder, just to make sure that fold is reinforced. So I'm going to do that on all 4 of my points, bringing in the outside edge and lining it up with that score mark there. So, and if you don't get a very good point, you can just come back in and do it again like that. The pointier it is, the better your star will look. Okay, there we go. And again, hold the point, bring this corner and line up the edge, the outside edge, with your score mark. It's quite a forgiving fold, so if you do make mistakes, just go back and rescore. So do that again on all 4 corners. There we go. And then last one, measure that outside edge, bring it across, line it up with that score mark. And the last one, there we go. I'm giving a nice pointed edge. So then I'm going to go back in with my bone folder and just reinforce all of those scores. And then I'm going to fold that in half and reinforce that score as well. Okay, now then, that's what we've got. So when we get to this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the one and I'm going to open out just the one on each of these points. So, yeah, that's it. So I've opened the left one on each point, so, and kept the right one folded all the way around. Okay, so now I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put a little bit thin line of glue on the patterned bit that you can see. So I'm going to do that on all 4 points. Oops. So that we've got the glue laid down, so I can forget about that. Now I'm going to pick it up, and this is where the glue is on that pattern page, and I want to bring this up and lay this on top of it with this edge lined up with the folded crease. So I'm going to bring it up like that. It's easier if you slip your finger into the gap like that, and then you can just reinforce that all the way down. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it 180 degrees because I want to work on this one now. So I'm going to put my finger underneath and bring this one down and line this edge up with the creased edge. Okay, there we go, and we end up creating a crease there, which is why we needed to reinforce it. So okay, when we get to that point, we now have to work on these two. So again, getting your finger underneath, bring this edge to line it up with this creased edge, And what will happen as you bring this across, you start to create a point there, which is why you have to make sure that all of those creases were really very carefully reinforced. Okay, so that's that one, and then I'm going to turn it 180 degrees and work on the last one. So again, bringing that up, bringing that edge across, and pinching it between my fingers, and now we've created that. Okay, so very simple. So you're going to do that with the second piece of paper, do exactly the same, so that you then create two identical ones. Now you can use the same paper, you can use different paper, it's entirely up to you. So when this is dry, which it isn't, but we'll pretend it is, I'm then going to use my glue gun. I'm using my glue gun because regular glue just does not grasp it quick enough. And I'm going to put glue on each of those corners all the way around so that we can grab. So just a tiny little bit of glue on each of those each of those points in the middle. So I'm not worried too much if some of it drops off, because I can use my heat gun later on to repair that. So now I've got glue there and there, here and here. So I'm going to very carefully flip this one that way and line it up like that until I'm happy that we're square, and then I'm going to push it down onto that hot glue. There we go, and let the hot glue grab it. Yep, there we go, it's grabbed. Now I've got some of these that Amy Manley gifted to me recently, so I'm going to use these to decorate the points. So using my glue gun, I'm going to put a bob of glue there and pop that on like that, and then I'm going to flip it over and do exactly the same on that side and pop that one on. There we go. And if you want to hang it up, you can get a piece of cotton or baker's twine and tuck it in with some glue gun and hang it up, which is what I've done with this one. You can see some baker's twine to hang it up. Whoops, it's not quite dry yet. Let's hold that square. So there you go. That's how you make these beautiful stars. So I hope you give them a go, and I'm going to pop them on my Christmas tree in the not the conservatory, in the porch. I really do like these colours, which come from the Let It Snow pack, which was Poundland, I believe, last year. Right then folks, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and hope to see you with the next tutorial. Take care for now. Bye.